This is the Hustlers Podcast, featuring Brian Ross, Julian Meyer, Artie Stokey, and Serge Albino.
All right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the Hustlers Podcast. This is episode 1, our intro podcast. My name is Julian Meyer. I'm one of the co-hosts here, along with my friends, business partners, and fellow co-host Brian Ross, Artie Stokey, and Serge Albino, who will be joining me on this show from the next episode on. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to tell you guys a little bit about what you can expect on this show. About 2 years ago, myself and my 3 co-hosts, we still are budding entrepreneurs working on a couple different businesses, but we all come from different walks of life. We all grew up in different places. We're all at different stages in our lives. I'm still in my 20s, Serge is in his 30s, Brian and Artie are in their 40s. But we came together one night, had a couple beers, and started realizing that we were having conversations with each other that we couldn't have with a lot of other people. We were finally starting to vent and get out some of our deepest, darkest, emotional secrets that we've had to deal with the last few years while we've been building these businesses. And for the last 2 years, we've met up. We've tried about once a month to meet up, and it's like the best venting session that we've ever been to. And we realized about 2 months ago that there's probably other people out there that could benefit from this kind of a community, because oftentimes as entrepreneurs, as hustlers, as dreamers, it's a very lonely game where you're spending a lot of your time alone. And also, when you finally do get to interact with people, they don't necessarily understand what you do on a day-to-day basis, or they don't follow you on why you're trying something or on what your dreams are. So what we decided is, we said, hey, let's put something out there. Let's start with a podcast to where we can semi-create this community and semi-just record and share a lot of the thoughts and experiences that we go through, because we're certain that there's other people out there listening that could appreciate the stuff that we're going through. And, so that's kind of the thesis of the show. Now, what we want to do, the format, is we're going to take a few minutes at the beginning of each show to tell you guys and update you guys on each one of our respective businesses and lives. And we'll each give you an update as to what's going on as the weeks progress, as the episodes progress. You'll learn more and more about each and every single one of us and our businesses. And then for the second part of the show, what we're going to do is we're going to pick a topic to dive a little bit deeper into, something that is challenging, something that we experienced that was maybe more emotional, something that's happening in current events, just something to dive deeper into that we've all noticed is affecting our lives in some way, shape, or form. Then for the third part of the show, what we're going to do is we're actually going to put our money where our mouth is, and we're going to show you guys that we don't just give advice or teach people or make this show on building businesses. We actually do build them, and we want you to build one right alongside with us. So we're going to start from the very next episode all the way through. We're going to build a business with you guys, and we're going to give you step by step what we're doing, and you're going to have the experience to follow us along on that journey. And then what we want to do, as we incorporate more and more listeners to this show and more people start getting interested, is we want to actually start a segment where we feature your phone calls, your interviews, your questions, your comments, and we want to make it a very holistic show. We want this to be much more than a podcast. We want it to be a community. I can't stress that enough. This whole mission for us is basically saying, listen, we know that this is a problem that a lot of people struggle with when they're entrepreneurs or dreamers, and they don't always have a place to vent, and there's not always people that care about their problems. And that's kind of where we want to come in, and that's what this show is all about. So I'm going to leave it there. I would encourage you to listen to the next episode. I think you're going to really enjoy it if you're someone that's into building businesses, if you're an entrepreneur, if you consider yourself a hustler or a dreamer. I think you're going to get a lot out of this show. I really do believe that this is going to turn more into a community than anything, and so I invite you to join us and build this community alongside us. And I am really looking forward to having you guys as listeners to this show. So thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for listening to the Hustlers Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to get the latest episodes.